we can discuss anything, but I can start with why the houses are so expensive, because I spent on what is it? This morning I went to Home Depot and bought 10, 18 pieces of lumber, and I paid just under $500.
Oh my!
So it's totally ridiculous. The 2x4 was $2.40 like a year ago. Now it's about it's at $10 plus taxes. So you're looking at $11 per 2x4x8. So which is totally ridiculous. I think they have the inlay of gold somewhere there that I don't see, but so that's that. But everything's gone up, and the builders, and that goes back to the shortage of the inventory, because the builders are, well, normally the market is comprised of two segments. One is the construction, pre-construction, and resale, right? So there is no resale because of uncertainty with COVID, and now there's another uncertainty with wars, not just Ukraine, but I think Taiwan is at war as well, and some other countries. So who knows what's going to happen? And people are still afraid to move. And well, the other thing is, I'm telling my clients, let's buy now, and then you can sell it later, because you can sell no problem still. But buying kind of presents a bit of a challenge. So that's kind of the uncertainty that people are facing. And on a pre-construction, the construction side, the builders kind of stopped selling way in advance, because what's happening, people are buying now, selling when it's completed a year later, 2 years later, and they're putting their $200,000, $300,000 in their pocket. So the builders kind of smarten up and say, hey, yeah, we're going to sell the house when it's like almost 90% complete. That way we can show, they're still doing some work outside and that kind of stuff, but in majority it's all done, right? So that way they can get the best buck for the property. So, and although I should say that, it's always been the case. People are saying we've seen a little bit of a cooling off. Right now, I say it's not a cooling off. It's just the seasonal change, because normally in the spring market you get a little bit more inventory as usual. So it's not a cooling off. I don't see the prices going down. So the prices are still going up. Maybe we don't see 50 offers bidding war, and somebody will correct me and say, yeah, I just got 55 offers, and it all comes down to the property, right? That's where this is the time where it comes down whether you want to just sell it, or you want to sell it for good money. And what I mean by that is you got to choose your realtor right. Like 2 months ago, it didn't matter at all. Like what if you had a staging, if you had anything, if you haven't done anything to the property, it didn't matter, because everything was flying off the shelf like crazy. Now, like my former boss saying, the two types of properties sell: the ugly and gorgeous. Obviously, there's two segments for those properties. One is the investor, and the other one is the end user or buyer that will live there, right? And obviously, on the investor side, there is no emotions. It's a bottom line. The dollar. How much I can buy it for, how much I can rent it for, how much of the equity I can get there. So those kind of things, right? And if the deal makes sense, they'll buy it. Now, keep in mind that the investors, they're different investors, right? And if somebody's coming from Toronto market into Windsor market, and they go, oh yeah, it makes sense. It's the cap rate is 4%, where in Toronto would be 3% or 2.5% or something like that, or something crazy. In reality, it's not true because the rents are not the same, right? And the appreciation is not the same, and so on. So it may not make sense to buy at a certain price. But that's a different. I mean, that's a different conversation for different time. So on the other side, they start shooting. The gorgeous property, they play on emotions, right? So staging, good, good curb appeal, all of that matters. So if you do a good job as a realtor, and well, it should show well, and it should sell with the multiple offers, right? And get for your buck. Understand the have a decent property and don't offer those services, and don't spruce it up, don't do it. If I understand if it's a tired property, or I don't want to offend, run down sort of thing, then it wouldn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense to do the staging. I mean, it's obvious, right? It's the doesn't matter how much lipstick you're gonna put on it, doesn't matter, right? You're still not gonna get positive emotions because people will through those chandeliers and tables and that kind of stuff. But in a case where the property is clean and maybe stands to one is priced at actually lower. It's all it has the furniture, so it's all I shouldn't say staged, but that's the way they live. Kind of nice and neat and clean. Nothing, no exaggeration of any sort. And the other one was just empty. And when it's empty, you're running those are very minor things, but you're running the risk of people noticing things that they wouldn't notice if there was furnished, right? Because like little scuffs, little this, little that, and it drags your attention like crazy. Even the little kind of scratch on a wall, or a little like I don't know, fatty spot or something like that on the wall. Somebody touched it with a dirty hand, right? And you see it right away. Where the other house, you don't look at the wall because you're looking at these other things. And I mean, this is I guess for buyers and for sellers, right? So what to pay attention for, right? Or two. So it makes a huge difference. Well, it makes a huge difference in price whether how the property shows. Even if you pay a couple of $1,000s, if it's a larger home, paying a couple of $1,000s in staging, you may return in a form of $30,000-$50,000 or more. Because people will love it, versus it's not staged, it's not appealing at all, no emotions, right? So that's what I've experienced yesterday. The market overall, I can see, like I said, it's not. I don't think it's cooling down. It's just those properties, like I said, the good properties still selling. The mediocre properties will be sitting on the market for a little bit longer than 7 days. And Teresa asked me a question, how much this property sold this morning, and I haven't seen how long it's been on the market, but it sold for what, $120,000 more than asking price. But again, I want to emphasize once more, I've touched on this before, that asking price and overbidding and overpaying are two different things, right? Because they could have asked for less to start with, and then they just got the regular price that if they would price it properly, right? So I guess the burning question that I get every day for the last 6 months: how in the heck do I buy the property nowadays, right? uh, Again, several questions, several answers to that, and we touched on. I had a what do you call it? I had the seminar on that. Rent to own. If you're not ready to buy it now, you may want to consider that, right? And the other one, if you are ready, there are properties that's been on the market for more than 7 days or 10 days, and or even from the get-go, that are not subject to offer presentation at a certain date. So there are those out there. If it's on the first day, then you have to move quick, no conditions, that kind of stuff, right? If you don't want to be and you still risk the somebody else coming in with the offer having absolutely the same idea, right? If there is no offer presentation, property comes on the market, priced well, they jump on it, somebody else jumps on it, and so on. So you may have, even without offer presentation, you may have 2-3 offers on the first date, on the market, right? The other one is to wait a little bit. I know you're not going to have your first pick in a sense, right? But wait until those offer presentation day expires, and then see if there was no offers or they didn't accept the offer, then go in, right? And that's what I'm doing right now with a bunch of my clients. It's been 10 days since the listing started, and it's still on the market. So we go in and take a look, right? So then you just go in with an offer, with your best offer, and see what happens. Sometimes they're still looking for, oh, I want an extra $100,000. Like, well, good luck. Then price it properly, price it correctly. Not I know you set it up for bidding war, but that didn't happen. So that tells you something, right? So that's kind of the strategies in a nutshell. Of course, the buyer, when it comes to the buyers, a buyer has to have a right mindset, because there's a, I guess, misunderstanding or misconception, I should say, or something like that, where the realtors are all about their commission. Well, I mean, I'll get the commission sooner or later. If it's not with you, then with someone else, right? But the challenge is, and I've seen it many times in my career, where we go in, and somehow it happens on a first or second showing, and you see this property, beautiful property, and they go, well, we just started, we want to take a look around, we're gonna shop, we're gonna explore our options, blah blah blah, and then we miss out on that one, and they start comparing every single property after that to that one, to the one that we've lost, right? And so, and then 3 months later, what happens after 10 showings, 15 showings, and 3 months later, the buyer fatigue comes in, where the people say, you know what, it's just crazy, it's not gonna work, we're gonna wait. And I know people that have been waiting for 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, and that they could have bought it $300,000, the house that now worth $900,000, right? So you want to wait, by all means, but and I kind of praise, I don't know if you see me, quote unquote, praise those people. They go, well, the market's gonna calm down. It's like, will it? I mean, I've been preaching that for last, I've been preaching it for 7 to 10 years. And then I said, you know what, I gotta get on this bandwagon because I'm going to miss out. There is such a thing as a fear of missing out. And I said, you know what, I'm going to jump on it. And since then, my properties tripled, quadrupled in some cases. And so it's, I don't regret. The only thing I regret, I didn't buy more. Let's put it that way. So that's in a nutshell. Even if the prices are going down, like a prime example is United States. The price has gone down drastically. I'd say 50%, even 60%. Guess where they are now? They're back or higher than they were before in 2008. Yes, I know it's 12 years, but in the long run, they still appreciate. I watched I did some research, and I was on a news that the property that sold for like $5,000 or something like that in 1910 or something like that, and then it was in 2010 it was sold for over $1 million or something like that, and it's more than that now. So over the 100 years, it's appreciated at the steady 10%. So it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're not panic. Let's say recession happened. If it's the same as stocks, right? If you decide to sell the property at the bottom low, there's nobody to blame but yourself. And the recessions normally don't last long, maybe a year or two, and then it goes back up. In some cases, might have been 3-4 years and that kind of stuff. But like I said, it just goes back up, but people, I think people still remember that the recession in '80s or something like that, where it's they were paying 18%, 20%, and I don't know. Some people probably lost the houses. Some people made a fortune on it because they bought they bought at that time, and perhaps bought it on a floating rate, which was probably 5-6% or 7% or something like that. And then once the interest rate normalized, they got a good deal, and then the property is appreciated very quickly. I would assume I would have to do the research, but that's what happens after the recession, right? Because everything starts creeping up, improving in value. So, and I mean, we see it for the last couple of dips that we had. So my point is, even if you buy it now and then buy it at the peak of the market, and all of a sudden the prices drop, okay, they're going to drop by 20%. Or 10% or 20%. I don't know how much it might. I don't think that's even going to happen because, that's another topic. I'm going to touch on that. So even if it drops by 10-20%, it's going to recover in a couple of years. So, like I said, do not panic. And I guess the question about the market, what to expect of the market right now. Like I said, we're at the beginning of the presentation. We are extremely short on inventory, and I spoke just yesterday. I spoke on to one of the municipalities and said, "How about converting a duplex to a threeplex? You guys short on housing, right? On affordable housing at that point." Yes, but we have a master plan. We have the bylaws. We have this. We have that. We cannot allow that. So, like, I get it. We don't want the anarchy. We don't want the people doing whatever they please to do. I totally get it. But aren't we supposed to improve this situation with the housing and give someone like forget about people buying the houses, but we're gonna like I mentioned before in some other presentations, we have about 1.2 million people that come into Canada during this year or next year, and that's not even including the refugees from different countries that are at war right now. And we can't gauge that number, how many it was going to be, maybe 100,000, maybe 200,000, maybe 300,000 people. Yes, it's going to be temporary, but they have to live somewhere. They have to rent. So, and those would be perfect, even like a basement apartment, for those would be perfect to live in. I don't think, what do you call it? The city or any cities will have enough city housing to put those people in. And I get it that, $1.2 million is not that you're going to have to come up with 1.2 million homes. It might be, only 400,000 or 500,000 or something like that. But we still need those properties. Like I said, the other day I looked into how many properties are being built right now, and I saw about 1,000 projects in Ontario, more or less, and I don't know exactly how many units per project, but let's say there's about 300 units per project, like condos and that kind of stuff, right? And there could be homes as well, but if it's 300 homes per project, 1,000 projects, that's 300,000 homes. But keep in mind, those homes are at the different stages. Just announced at the sale stage. So those properties not going to be coming on the market this year. Not maybe 10% of them will come out on the market next year. The rest of them will be coming the year after, and so on and so forth. Unfortunately, I don't know what's the rolling number. Do we have 1,000 projects every year? I don't think so, because like this shows that we have 1,000 projects over the span of about 6 years. So if you do the math, you divide it by 6. That's only 170 projects per year. So that tells me it's not going to be sufficient to satisfy the inventory shortage. So the market will still go up in the near future. The interest rate just gone up. It didn't do anything really because again, it's not affecting the buying power. Not affecting the buying power of the people, of the purchasers. So people will pay an extra $50 or something like that, or I don't know, depending on the amount of the mortgage. But they'll pay a little extra, but it's not going to be sufficient to break the bank or make it or break it for those people. So, like I said, it's not affecting and. The government is not in a position to increase the rate to the point where people will be handing the keys over because they cannot afford the payment. But again, even then, you have to understand that all of the mortgages are not on variable rates, because that's what's being affected by increase in prime rate. The variable mortgages, the fixed mortgages are not affected by that at all. So then they will see an impact of that once their mortgage coming up for renewal next year, the year after, and so on, depending on a term when it's going to come, when it's coming for renewal. So like it's all staggered, and we're not going to see that huge influx of people selling the properties. We have now people that are not or cannot afford to make those payments, so they're selling them. but nobody knows, and nobody even suspects that they're selling because they can't afford it, and because we're short on inventory, it just goes for over the asking price. So that's kind of my view of the market. On today's as of today. Tomorrow, anything can change. So
with a bunch of Ukrainians coming into here to rent, how are they going to pay for those rents? Like, how do you, like, once they actually find a place to stay, are they going to all get jobs, even though they're going to go back? I'm sure it's not going to be years, but we never know. But
well, it is. I mean, the program that they haven't rolled out the program yet. I'm yet to see the program. But the initial communication was that they will be coming to the country for 2 years, and then they'll be issued a permit, work permit, the health card, and they can study as well. But after 2 years, they will have to decide whether they will stay or they will come back to Ukraine. There's no program yet designed, so I don't know the details. I mean, obviously, it's like with every refugee, they excuse me, they will. Well, keep in mind we have 1.3 million of people in Canada of Ukrainian descent. So there's going to be lots of people that live like my house is going to be a zoo. I'm going to have 8 people, extra 8 people in my house. So I don't know how I'm going to keep the sanity. I'm going to,
good luck with that.
yeah. It's like a mother of 5, right? We should take it off the record, but mother of 5, and the husband kind of nudging like, you want to have fun? It's like, no, I want to sleep, that kind of stuff.
Well, yeah, enjoy it now.
yeah. So
and that'll be over.
Yeah. So if you see me
That's
at your
good.
doorstep, don't be surprised. I just need a corner that I can just.
I was gonna say you can sleep on my couch anytime.
Yeah. So,
That's awesome.
so that, but I mean, as far as the job goes, I mean, yeah, they're gonna try to get the jobs. I mean, some keep in mind that I mean, Ukrainian people are on average are highly educated. It's sort of in the blood. It's been embedded into our DNA that you have to study. Like that was the like a communist thing. Like you got to study, otherwise you're gonna be something. What do you call it? Cleaning the streets, something like that, with a broom, right?
Well, I was just thinking, like, once they come, that's fine, and once we find homes for them, that's great, and they have jobs and stuff. At the end of those 2 years, I guess, what happens? Will the house market then feel the dip when a certain amount of them go, or you think enough of them will stay? It'll just keep it at the same level, and they'll just have family, and it'll just increase? Or do you think there will be?
Oh, for sure, some of them will stay. I mean, I know at least I don't know, 50 people that would love to, would want it to come anyway, right? So this is the opportunity for them to actually come. But the problem is the only women and children can come right now. So this is going to be a very interesting kind of process, because I don't know how, like, for you to be able to rent, you need an income, right? And if you sitting with the 3-year-old, 4-year-old, even 8-year-old, that goes to school, which you still have to be like, you're very limited. Well, unless they're going to subsidize the childcare and then give it for free, that kind of stuff. But then I don't know how is it possible, because I would go crazy and say, hey, how come like even before school and after school, right? If people are paying, like Canadians are paying, right? I was paying. I don't know if, for tennis if you're paying or not, or you know,
Yeah, we still pay.
yeah. So if somebody comes in and they, oh, you guys don't have to pay, what would you do? Like you would scream from the top of your lungs, like, what the heck? Why am I paying? You know, right? So they have to figure out something with that. And yeah, again, I don't know. I hope Justin Trudeau has put some thought into all of that, because the guys are not coming, and normally the guys are working, right? The guys are fighting. So I don't know what's going to happen, because like I said, my personal example, my niece should be coming. Nephew with my nephew's Syrian, so it's a different story. So he's and he could leave basically. Otherwise, you couldn't leave the Ukraine during this time. And he's coming with his wife and 2-month-old daughter, and my sister. So here's the dilemma. Like, yeah, if, my nephew, he's going to be working, so that's kind of fine. My niece, she knows Russian, English, Arabic, Ukrainian, obviously. So I think she's going to be, and she has an accounting degree, so she's going to be fine as well. My sister, she's 55, no English, a little bit of Arabic, but I don't know where she can find a job at 55. You know, I'll be honest. I'm not trying to be derogatory or nothing like that. I
No,
think,
but it definitely is a little tougher for sure.
yeah. I think employers are like, I've always cringed at that, because if I'm 50 or 55, I still have 10, 15 years to go. I'm guaranteed to be there for 10, 15 years. This young kid that's you're hiring, he's going to get a little bit of experience at your company, is going to be adios amigo. In 1 or 2 years, he's going to be gone. There is no loyalty to the employer anymore, which might be rightly so, because employer has no loyalty towards their employees anyway. If they want to hire you, they will hire you in a heartbeat. And some employers may throw stones at me, because no, we cherish our people. Like, well, maybe one company out of 1,000 or something. But that's the thing. So as far as, like I said, my sister, I don't know, she may be a live-in caregiver, or clean houses, but you know, to clean houses, you still need some English, and you still need some tools. You still need a car, you know, that kind of stuff. Unless I organize a crew of 4 or 5 people and drive them around and and have a side hustle on the side, you know. So that kind of stuff. So and of course my nephew's wife, she's going to be sitting at home because she has a 2-month-old daughter. So if there wasn't for me, like, I don't know how would they survive. And they would have to rent. The rent is, for 4 people, for example, would have been, even if it's a 2-bedroom, but you can't have 2-bedroom where you have the family and two adults. So you would have to have 3 bedrooms, and 3 bedrooms running at least $2,000. So, and plus, you're looking at $4,000 cash income on a monthly basis. So I don't know how they can afford to, where they can make that kind of money. So I it's somehow things work out. It happened to me. It happened to you. It happened to everybody. Things do work out. The higher force, the universe, looking after us. So if you put the mind to it and effort, things will happen. So, and that's kind of when people coming over from overseas, fleeing from war or repressions or something like that, they've seen the worst, I guess, right? They're hoping for the better future, and they put a big effort into this. So they'll be okay as far as the, you know, how is the process going to work, well, if they're going to come back or not. I don't know. Some will stay, some will go. And I'm trying to analyze everything. People have businesses back home. If the business, if it's a restaurant, for example, you need to have a stable, steady life for people to come back to that, right? To the restaurants. You know, or I don't know. There's lots of businesses that probably will disappear because, you know, just the way it is. So if those people lost the businesses, then say, you what would I come back to? Why? Right? They'll start new life here. Perhaps they'll start that business here, and in 2 years they may have a better business that they had back home. So they may stay. And not everybody. Keep in mind, not everybody coming with a t-shirt and a pair of shoes. Some people come in with a substantial amount of monies. On their cards, on their accounts that they, you know, might be able to access here. Excuse me. So I don't know. Well, what's going to happen to that immigration? I'll tell you tomorrow. I mean, the day after they announce what's going to happen. Okay.
Yeah, it'll be interesting how it plays out.
Yeah, it's hard to tell. I mean, we're always had immigration, right? And like even like last year or 2 years ago, we had 25 or 50,000 Afghani refugees. Have you heard?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, we didn't.
Right. So
Yeah.
I mean, what's 50,000? What's 200,000 people? They're just spread out. Some people will go to Toronto. Most people will go to Toronto area. Some will go to Alberta, British Columbia, wherever they have relatives or something or other, uncle, you know, like what is it, third cousin or fifth cousin or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
It's just
people
interesting how, you know, they're going to change some of that immigration just for Ukrainians instead of just keeping it the same as it always has been. But
yeah, they don't give them a refugee status. It's a sort of temporary refugee, right?
right.
And sorry, the guys are not. Hold on. So and if, as an example, the way I see it, those regions like Chernihiv, Kharkiv, Donetsk, Mariupol, those cities that have been destroyed completely. What? Well, people will say we have nowhere to come back to. Like our houses are destroyed. There's nothing. There's no city, or they could be under the Russian occupation. So they have nowhere to come back to, right? So they have to stay, and then obviously they're going to be given status of refugee, and they will amalgamate. But at that point, I mean, if they're already working, they already have English. I mean, they're already past that stage, kind of thing, right? So they already. I hope that by that time the people have adapted, and of course.
Yeah, possibly by that time, after 2 years, they might even have enough to start buying instead of renting, right? Which will help increase the market.
I see people buying after they're about 2 years or 3 years in the country.
Right.
And like I said, I've seen this in many different cultures. Like people from Asia, from India. They're, they keep their budgets tight, and then they buy it. They still live like they're visiting. They're trying to save every penny. Like I was shocked yesterday that somebody said, they have very modest modest salary, and they go, well, we on a very tight budget, and we're saving $4,000 a month. Like, that's kind of, I wish I could do that, but they're, like I said, they're I guess limiting themselves to a great extent to reach their goal, right? So, and sometimes we're a little bit frivolous with our money. That's the word, I guess. Because people don't understand the wants and needs. It was interesting. I was on a Facebook. I was one of the memes that shows a rich guy's car and a poor guy's car. And then of course it's a rich guy's car is a Ford, and then a poor guy's car is a Porsche, right? It's like, okay. and true enough, because the cars are a depreciating asset. As soon as you drive, the funny thing, everybody knows, as soon as you drive off the lot, what happens?
Depreciates in value,
How much?
like 40 to 50%.
It's 30%, right?
Yeah, 30%, right?
Yeah.
So if you bought a stock and you had a drop of 30%, what would you do? Like,
Cry.
Get the heck out of there fast.
Yeah, or the house, right? But funny thing is, we drive off and we still drive it because, well, we kind of need it, but on the same token, it still depreciates. It's crazy. It's totally crazy. So, and I've seen some guys that, well, I mean, they're handy guys that they're consistently buying it, the $3,000 clunker. I mean, clunker, but they know what they're buying, so they get 2 to 3 years out of that clunker, and then go to the next one. And but if you do the math, if that clunker doesn't break, or even it breaks, even if you put a 1,000 a year, so 3,000, so total 6,000 divided by 36 months, you're under $200 a month.
Yeah.
For the car, right? So, but if you want to buy a Porsche, then you're going to be $2,000 a month. So, and nothing to show for it after 10 years or something like that. So that's a financial wisdom education, I guess. That's a different story. So yeah. I guess we're close to 10:22. You have any more questions?
That's awesome.
I
No, that was good.
Updated everybody on the markets and on a buying strategies and that kind of stuff. So just to fill you in. So it's not too late to buy, Ivan.
Right. Sure. Listen, I think there's going to be another interest rate hike, and therefore I think it's going to cool the market.
You missed that part.
Yes, I probably did. I'll watch the video.
Watch the video, because I still don't think it's going to cool off the market.
Okay.
It's like I said, it's worth repeating, because like how the mortgages are comprised, or what the mortgages are comprised of. There was variable rate and a fixed rate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lots of people are going with the general public goes with the fixed rate. The only other people, the people that have a more risk averse, go with the variable rate because of the rate hike, right? But if you do 1.55 right now, well, prime minus 90, so that would be 1.75, I guess, something like that. And you could have locked in, you can lock in at 3% right now. So you can afford to go for another 1.25 of price of rate hikes to reach that 3%,
Right.
which you would have paid on a fixed rate, right?
Right.
So are we going to see 1.25?
No. Not
probably
anytime
not.
soon.
Probably not, right?
Yeah.
So
But you know what? I say that, but you know, think about it. Right now, we don't know if there's going to be a war, right? I mean, it doesn't sound like there's going to be now. I think Zelensky met with Russia yesterday and said that it was a good meeting. So we don't know what that means. But the point is, if there's war, then interest rates are going to go up higher than 1.4%, 1.25%, and there is going to be a cooling in the market. Right, because people that bought houses in Ukraine a week before the war started, you know, some of their properties aren't worth anything right now. We just don't know what it's going to mean, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what I said. Again, don't panic if you bought something. Keep it. Don't sell it. You never sell stocks at the bottom of the market,
No,
unless
that's right.
Unless you bought the
Nortel.
Nortel or bump and dump kind of company, right?
Right.
Which is not worth anything to start with, right? So, but again, like going back to the mortgage rates, they have not. They're increasing the prime rate, but they're not increasing the qualifying rate, which is still 5.25.
Right.
As soon as they increase the qualifying rate, that's going to be a different story, obviously, because I believe, you know what, I'm not going to lie, I can't remember exactly, so I'm not going to lie.
Right.
But every 50 points, you're going to have 50 basis points, you're going to have to pay, you're going to be able to afford less, anything, any interest increase in qualifying rate, you're going to be you may not be able to afford what you afford now. So anyway,
right.
You understand what I
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, exactly. And therefore there might be a flood in the market of inventory. People don't qualify on renewal. So I'm just not sure what's happening. I think it's such a volatile time.
Yeah, keep in mind the renewal is an interesting thing, because renewal is just a very simple process. They don't actually ask for the confirmation. Are you okay with this rate? Yeah, I'm okay with this rate. Carry on. Unless you specifically says no, I cannot afford it, then it's going to be a problem, right?
Oh, I see. Okay.
But as far as I'm concerned, okay, sell the goddamn thing. If you're not going to be able to afford it, without going into default.
Right.
And like I mentioned before, we're not. You got to watch the video. Those two segments, like one is affected. Variable rates are affected by prime rate, and they may have an increase, right? But it's not going to be sufficient to break you, right? Because you're not going to be paying more than you would have paid on a fixed rate, and you were qualified on 5.25, so you should be okay.
Okay.
Unless you live frivolous life and didn't calculate your expenses correctly, but you can probably cut your expenses at that point. Now, with the fixed rates, all of the bye Sheila, yeah, all of the mortgages, they're staggered. The mortgages do not renew on the same date.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so they renew today, tomorrow, a year from now, 3 years from now, 5 years from now, that kind of stuff. So you're not going to see the influx of people in one area. They're
not all coming due at the same time.
They don't come due at the same time, and they don't come due at the same time in one particular subdivision, right?
Right.
Of course, the dip in the market will happen if you have 70 houses in 300 houses subdivision going for sale, right? Then it's going to be oops.
Yeah, something happened there,
Well,
right?
that happens. Like, for example, I don't think it's going to happen, but the Tesla factory, employs like 50,000 people or something like that, and they have a city next to it, and then Tesla goes, bye-bye, we're going to China somewhere, right? Or something like that. And then 50,000 people sitting like, okay, now what?
Right.
And it's going to be the local depression because nobody would want the house there, right? Because the people, it will be ghost town, right? So
Mhm.
anyway, hey, we're at 10:30. So thank you
Awesome.
so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you, Yuri.
Yeah. And if you want to consider the rent to own, we can set it up.
Did you guys actually talk about that today?
No, we didn't talk. We had another seminar before that. Do you have that or no?
Was it
I
last
mean-
week's?
I may have it. Well, you know what? I think I have the recording, so I will send it to you.
Yeah, that'd be nice. Okay, sounds good. All right, thanks a lot, Yuri. Have an awesome
Thank
day.
you.
So can you stay on?
Okay, bye.